the longest we've ever been in a line for boba tea.
It is, and I'm excited. That means it must be good.
Got it down at 3 things, but I could easily be convinced otherwise.
So today is our last day, so we decided to take a walking tour. If you've been following our journey, you know that we slowed down after spending time with Jen's parents and decided to spend a month in Melbourne, Australia. This city became our home base as we caught up on vlogs and started planning out the next couple months of our trip. While we knew we wanted to have this time to catch up in Australia, we weren't sure which city we wanted to spend our time in. Australia has many world-class cities, but we decided to go to Melbourne as it's currently ranked number 2 as the world's most livable city. Its access to transportation, parks, cultural exhibitions, and safety were some of its most valued attributes. We came to absolutely love our time here, and it began to feel like a second home. Here's what we have been doing for the past month.
We explored a lot of Melbourne's coffee culture. And we tried public transportation. We went to a comedy club. We went on runs. We celebrated Elliot's birthday with pizza, beer, and the best boba tea in town.
Boba tea. Good birthday dessert. So creamy. I've never had tea this creamy. That boba. So good. Yeah, it's hot. Like the bottom is hot, the top is cold. The boba is so tender. It's not like it doesn't taste like plastic. Really, really good.
We've also enjoyed Queen Vic Market on Wednesday nights for their Wednesday night summer special. Got it down at 3 things, but I could easily be convinced otherwise. 1, either the lobster roll, 2, the pierogies, or 3, the paella. They all look good.
Started with the lobster roll.
It's delicious.
So today is our last day. We wanted to learn a little bit more about the history of Melbourne, so we decided to take a walking tour.
We made it. To
Melbourne, everyone, and welcome to the culture capital of Australia. My name is Sunny, and I'm going to be your tour guide this evening. Now, for a very, very long time, laneways here in Melbourne were pretty boring places. They were kind of back entrances to buildings, they were shortcuts through the city. But then something happened that we now call the Melbourne Miracle, which is basically the birth of our laneway culture and the transformation of our laneways. Now, we do absolutely love our sport down here in Melbourne. We've actually been named the sporting capital of the world 4 times.
I feel like we're finally learning more about Melbourne. We've been living here for a month. Love it.
We actually have more live music venues per person than any other city in the world. We have around 1 music venue for every 10,000 people and around 3,000 live music performances happening every single week. Now, these venues can range from big theatres and stadiums to very, very small band rooms. But probably the most unlikely of all of these venues is right here in Caledonian Lane. So like I said, Melburnians love their live music, and we absolutely love our laneways. So what can be more Melbourne than a laneway music festival? So Caledonian Lane was the site of Melbourne's very first laneway music festival, and it basically started as an accident. Protest here in Melbourne, and if you're here on the weekend, you're very, very likely to see a protest on our streets. Now, this love of a protest can be attributed to the strength of our trade unions.
How cool! So the crosswalks, they turn red and green footpaths whenever they change the light. See, they just changed. How cool is that? We've learned so much in the past hour about Melbourne, and I feel a little silly for having done this a little bit towards the end of our trip in Melbourne, but I'm really glad we took it. So one of the really cool things that we learned about Melbourne on our tour was that in the 1990s, a Danish architect came to the city and described the city as being like a donut. That there was a lot on the outside, but not a whole lot in the center of the city. And he attributed that to the fact that many people came into the city center to work in downtown, in the surrounding areas, and then left into the suburbs after work was finished. And so during this time, they were in a recession, and so with a mixture of different things, including cheap rent, and one of the very unique things is that there's a policy change. And so previous to this time, they allowed an alcohol license to go to places that had accommodations and had to serve food. So with these two things, it really attributed to larger venues, but they changed the law and they allowed places to have a smaller liquor license, which is huge because it allowed places to have seating for 10, 15, 20 people to come in, which essentially they took up some of these alleyways and kind of filled in some of these spots. And so all throughout this tour, we've seen really cool places that are just these small little hidden gems along these alleyways, and it's really, really cool. So our 1 month in Melbourne is coming to an end. and the city of Melbourne has really treated us very well, and we've really enjoyed our time here.
One thing that we experience is after being here for a month, this is the longest time we've stayed in one place. It really feels like a second home. I think what shows to say how Melbourne is so livable. You know, we didn't really do that much here. We did a lot of working, and as you guys saw, but what a great city. I can't wait to come back.